You've all heard the phrase, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. You're all familiar with that. We've heard that a lot in our lifetimes, but there are two things that have been left out of that saying, out of that proverb, that I think are extremely important and things that have held people back in their life. And I want to share with you what those secrets are so that you are better informed and you can improve your life financially. So let's break this thing down. Hey, welcome back. My name's Ethan. If you haven't seen my videos before, I produce a lot of content on finance, wealth, investing, and financial education because I think it's so important. And I think it's something that we don't get in our school systems. We aren't taught by our parents because they didn't know that information themselves. They weren't taught that. And I think it's a real crime because we all live in a world of money, a world that is ruled by money. We need money to survive. We need money to thrive, and to not learn the basics of money, finance, investing, I think is just a real shame. And that's one of the things that I want to help people with, is to kind of open their minds if they haven't heard about or learned about concepts related to those things. So if you like this content, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot of videos that I've already got out on finance, wealth, and investing. I've got a lot more coming as well. So please subscribe and hit that notification icon so you get notified when I come out with a new video. So let's get back to this proverb, that this saying that we've all heard, and it goes a little something like this: give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, but if you teach a man to fish, you feed him for his whole lifetime. And I sort of look at that. We've all heard that phrase, right? That first part, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. That's more of the scenario where someone is begging for something, or they're looking for a handout. We're giving them a handout. And we see that in society today. We give people handouts for things. We give them subsidies on things that they might do, things, that they're involved in their careers. We obviously help the homeless or the less fortunate. That's that type of scenario. The other scenario, the other part of that proverb or that saying is teach a man to fish and you can feed him for his whole lifetime, or he will feed himself for his whole lifetime. And that is equivalent to everyone being an employee, everyone being a worker bee, right? We are all familiar with that. We're all, pretty much employed, or we've gotten jobs, or hopefully we're employed. But we've been trained through our school system to be an employee, to be a worker bee. And that, that's okay. That's an okay way to earn money. There's nothing wrong with that. But it sets everybody up to basically run this perpetual rat race their entire life, where they have to work constantly to earn money. And that there's nothing wrong with that, but the problem is it leaves people locked into that rat race, and they never really reach a point of being financially free. So here are the two pieces to that saying that were never included in that proverb or saying that I think are extremely relevant for all time, and they can help set you free financially and give you true perpetual freedom in life. So here they are, the two things. The first one is, if you teach a man to start a fishing business, he can feed himself for his whole life. He can improve the lives of others by employing them, and he can profit immensely and become financially free. That's the third thing that should have been in that saying, right? If you start a business, if you're an entrepreneur, you can employ people, you can increase your own financial prosperity. So we left the entrepreneurial part of what should have been in that saying out of there. We taught people to be worker bees, to be employees. And I think it's important to let everybody know that they can reach a point of being financially free the fastest, in my opinion, if they learn to be an entrepreneur, if they learn to start something new. And so I think that's important. I think that teach a man to start a fishing business is important, and it was left out. The last thing, the fourth thing that should have been in there, which is the second secret that I think intentionally withheld, is this. If you teach a man to invest in fishing companies, he can not only buy fish and feed himself for the rest of his life, but he can help that company grow, support employees, and be financially free. So that's the fourth aspect of what should have been there. So the first part of the saying is basically dealing with giving somebody a handout, right? The second is teaching them to be a worker bee, to teaching them to be an employee. and that leaves them in a rat race. The third piece is teaching people to be an entrepreneur, to start a business, and to be able to support not only themselves but their employees. The fourth piece of that is to be an investor and invest in fishing companies, or whatever companies they might invest in. If you can get to the investor class, that is where you are truly, truly free. And you can start to become an investor at any age, no matter how much money you have available to invest in anything that you want to invest in. But that when you start to move into the investor phase of life, you start to break away from the I think I really call it like financial slavery or economic slavery. You're a slave to money because you're trading your time for money. When you work at a day job as an employee, you're constantly trading your life away, because every hour of the day, that's part of your life. You never get that back. You can never make more time in life. You can always make more money. But that's why I think time is so important. Time is so critical, and people understand that they can break that link between time and money that most people are just stuck in their entire life. So if you can get from being an employee to being an entrepreneur and starting your own side business, whether that's a side gig that you take on, or whether you actually go full time at your own business, whatever that might be, that gives you a lot more ability to be financially free and financially prosperous. But it's still, while most people, when they start a business, they basically become a slave to the business. And what I mean by that is they don't own the business owns them. They constantly have to work at their own company, because if they stop doing that, the money stops coming in. And that's still another rat race that you need to be able to escape. Now, you can escape that by either selling the company for a profit, hopefully a lot if you built the company up and it's very profitable, or you can hire somebody else to manage its day-to-day operations. You can hire a CEO, you can hire a general manager to take those daily operations off your hands. And when you do that, that's really when you make the transition from a business operator, somebody who has to be there constantly working in the business, and you can make the transition to be a business owner, where you are basically just kind of checking in, overseeing things, but you're not having to participate in the day-to-day operations of the company. And that's really what allows you to set yourself free. And by that point, you're really in the investor class, because you're financially free from the profits coming in from your company, and you can take some of that money, you can invest it into assets that increase your own financial wealth and increase your financial well-being, especially if you invest in things that cash flow. And I've got other videos where I talk about the importance of cash flow. I think cash flow is so important, and a lot of people don't grasp that concept. Robert Kiyosaki has done a lot to educate people on the importance of cash flow, and I couldn't agree with him more. It's something that is really key to, I think, achieving perpetual wealth and never-ending financial prosperity, investing in things that provide cash flow. So anyway, I'm going to end this video, but those are the two things that I think were left out of that proverb, that saying. And I got to tell you, some of these things, when I read them, I think about all the things in society that we tell ourselves and we tell other people about money, about wealth. I really think they're messed up, because they put people into this mindset where they are constantly worker bees their entire life, and they are essentially slaves to money, always having to trade their time for money. And I don't like that paradigm. I think it keeps a lot of people trapped. One of my goals is to help encourage people to become entrepreneurs and to get them out there, starting their own thing, helping them develop the courage to go out and do their own thing. And then also helping people to become investors and to understand investing, understand the options that are available, because that really, that gives people true freedom. When you can move into the investor class, then you don't need to run businesses yourself, and you don't need to be an employee. And that's true freedom. I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can retire, but what does retirement mean? To me, retirement just means that you have the freedom to work on and do whatever it is that you want. You're never just going to sit around on a beach and drink Mai Tais all the time. You're going to get bored with that after a month, because everyone needs to be creative. Everyone needs to feel that they have a purpose and a mission in life, and that they're accomplishing something. But when you move into that investor class, you can be retired and just work on the things that you want to, and that is true freedom. And that's what I want for as many people who want it for themselves and want to achieve that success, because that's phenomenal when you can get there. So that's what I want to help people with. But those are the going back to the two things that are missing from that phrase is if you teach a man to invest in, well, the first one was if you teach a man to start a fishing company, he can not only become financially free, but he can employ people and help them as well, and he can eat fish for the rest of his life. The other thing was teach a man to invest in fishing companies, and he can not only be free of having to operate that company, but he can profit from it, eat fish, help provide for jobs that company offers, and be financially free the rest of his life. So the entrepreneurship, the business owner, and the investor pieces of that parable, that saying, were left out, and that's a real shame. But anyway, something to keep in mind. I think those two things are so important to set you financially free, being an entrepreneur, being an investor. So anyway, until I see you guys next time, make sure to check out my other videos. I got a lot of stuff on finance, investing, personal growth as well. I hope you enjoy those. So make sure to check those out. But until I see you guys next time, I wish you all the best of luck in anything that you're pursuing in life. Until later, good luck, God bless, and Godspeed.